I wonder if benefit's quite the right word. I mean, with the mindfulness of breathing, we're trying to
to a degree.
yeah, I think like when you're enjoying something, you are naturally more interested.
relaxed in my meditation. When I bring kindness to that kind of like a not having good meditation, I think kind of really kind of it changes kind of the aspect and kind of the whole meditation in a way kind of is changing to kind of like a different direction in a way. And kindness is kind of like a brought into equation in a way. So we spoke about kind of like awareness, kind of in how important awareness is, I guess, in meditation. And awareness has kind of like many dimensions. One of the kind of awareness is awareness of our feelings. So how important is it, kind of the feeling, the awareness of the feeling in a meditation? A, how important, and B, I guess, what can we do to be more aware of the feeling?
Guys, could you just maybe one of you could just do it, because I think it's a bit difficult to have two conversations going. Talk about difficult feelings. Maybe just one of you could do it. Emma, you're a bit more experienced. Yeah, no, with feelings, it's there's two objects of meditation that you're really going to get most out of when you first start, which is feeling sensations of your body. It's really important to tune into your body. So it's your body that you're going to become interested in. It's the sensations of your body. That's the way that you're going to that's the first way you're going to get away from this kind of rumination, or at least start to settle into this type of awareness we're talking about. So you start to just feel what your body feels like. But the other attendant on that, like kind of in a way combined with that or integrated with that, is feeling. Yeah, the sensations that you experience in your body are going to feel anywhere on a spectrum from pleasant to unpleasant. Yeah, so they're going to feel pleasant, or they're going to feel like you're not going to be very aware of them. Right, that's somewhere in the middle. So you're not very aware.
Okay. And can you say a few words about the Vedana as well? What Vedanas kind of like actually are, kind of like, and how kind of we can be more aware of the Vedanas in our experience.
Yeah,
or the Vedanas are the feelings, or a bit more than feelings, or
So you're using this word Vedana, aren't you? This is the Buddhist word Vedana, which means kind of feeling tone, or a tone of the feeling. So it's pre kind of emotion, it's pre anger, it's pre kind of resentment, irritation, happiness. It's kind of pre all those things. You've got this basic sense the whole time of things kind of being alright or them not being alright. Yeah. It's kind of pre-emotion, so that's kind of going on all the time. So as you came into this meditation, into the class here tonight, this would have all been in play. Am I feeling all right? Am I feeling all right, or am I not feeling all right? You constantly, that's something that we're kind of constantly referring into, so something we can feel directly into. And from a Buddhist point of view, it's really important. It's called Vedana, this feeling tone. And you were saying, well, why is it important? Well, I think one of the things is that what happens when you've got unpleasant Vedana, or unpleasant feeling tone, discomfort, uncomfortable feeling in the body, is it quite naturally you want to push it away. That's not even quite right. You just don't want to kind of you don't want to kind of turn into it. It's just something that doesn't feel like it's going to be enjoyable to kind of turn into. It's just an unpleasant feeling. And so what will happen is if you don't turn into it, you'll contract around that a little bit in your body. You can feel that, yeah? You can feel yourself kind of tightening and a kind of sense of a subtle contraction in your body, yeah? And so that's when you just kind of have a feeling of a kind of trying to kind of get something out of something. You're trying to have something. Yeah. So you've got these kind of subtle contractions, either for or against. Yeah, and that's kind of happening whether you like it. That's just kind of happening all the time. It's just happening all the time. Yeah.
Like when we feel happy, we want to feel that kind of like a continuously want to be more happy.
Yeah.
When we are sad, or kind of like we just want that sadness to go away.
Yeah. Yeah, and in a sense, it just feels like common sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, happiness and sadness is almost like gone a bit further. It's like this feeling tone is almost like even more basic than that. It's just kind of it's a kind of a feeling out in your experience. It's just happening the whole time. When I did this on my ordination retreat up in the mountains up in Spain, there was this little funny looking little spider, had this little kind of pea body, and it had these big long legs. Sorry for any spider phobes around here, but it was really interesting because it used to go up to me. I don't think its sight was very good, and it would just kind of check it out with its legs. It's like, oh, do I like that? Do I like that or not? They'd be checking stuff out, and it would just go through his life, as far as I could tell, just kind of going and checking things out. So that's kind of what we're interested in with this Vedana. It's just kind of checking out, do I like that or not? And just noticing what kind of happens as a result with that subtle contraction. And so what's the point of all that? It's what the point of doing all of that is that if you can notice that process as it's live, as it's happening, you relax that contraction around it, don't you? You relax that kind of gripping, and pleasure can start to actually open up in your experience. So pleasure can open up, and that's really, really important. You were saying a bit earlier, Alex, that pleasure, I know your meditation, it's got a word as well, isn't it? It's kind of really important to turn into your experience so that pleasure can kind of open up.
In a way, that's kind of in a way closer to letting go, when you are just kind of like opening up. You're just letting go. You're not just kind of like either wanting the experience or aversion towards the experience. Just kind of letting go, just opening up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you getting this sense of like, oh, this is just happening. Yeah. And you can start to become a little bit more freer in relation to what's happening, right? And then attendant on that freedom or that spaciousness is pleasure, isn't it? And as we were saying earlier, the more enjoyable something is, the more interested you become, and the more engaged you become. So in a way, this is this process that we're involved in, is turning into the sensation and the feeling tone, for the purposes of finding that kind of letting go, finding that ease that can happen as a result. Maybe that's.
Perhaps maybe you can say a few words about posture before we start the meditation. We say a lot about the actual practice. Posture is very important as well, especially for people who are new to practice.
Have we got the sound going now? Could you just do that? There'll be that gets experienced as kind of like flattened through live stream. It turns into the sound like you're in a giant crisp packet. So that's what people have said. Are you in a giant? My mum dialed in like a while back. She said it sounded like you were in a giant crisp packet. Yeah. That's great. That's sorted out. Great. So what I'm going to say briefly about the structure of the meditation we're going to be doing is, for those of you that are familiar with the mindfulness of breathing, usually we count to 10, don't we? So we count to 10. But what we've been doing in this series. Yeah, is everybody familiar with the posture? Have you? Into falling forward. So yeah, so we'll do this meditation on sensation, on Vedana, and you don't need to remember anything me and Alex have been talking about. I'll just guide you through those 4 stages, and you don't you don't need to think about Vedana. You can just kind of is it pleasant or unpleasant? You can just start to look and see if you're tightening up, if you're if you're subtly holding in the body. Yeah? And then you can start to see, am I holding because it's difficult and I don't want it? Or am I holding because I'm kind of trying to hold on to something that I want to have more of? So we'll just kind of find our way into that through a sense of subtle holding in the body and this release. Okay, so just relaxing into the posture. So the first thing to do is just take in everything that's going on around you without leaving anything out, without trying to edit anything out. So just taking in the sounds around you. And start to see if you can feel into the different texture and the different sounds that are going on around you. And then start to be aware that those sounds are all happening in space. There's space all around you. And those sounds are all happening in that wide open space all around you. And then within that space you can feel your body, as it were, in the centre. You can feel your body, you can feel the sensations of your body. So you start to notice that some parts of your body feel more noticeable, and some parts you can't really feel hardly at all. And then notice how your body's supported by the ground. So there is more sensation where your body contacts the ground. And you can start to become aware of any holding on in your legs, and just see if you can start to let them go into that contact with the ground. And noticing your tummy, noticing any sense of holding on in the tummy. Just see if you can start to soften that holding on, just softening the tummy. Just start to let go. And then feeling your shoulders, space of the shoulders, just getting a sense of letting go around the shoulders. And around your eyes, forehead. Just softening in the body, just letting go, calming down in the body. And just noticing how your body is breathing and how the changing sensations of the breath feel in the body. So in this first stage, we're going to count after the out breath. So we take a breath in and breathe out, and count 1. And breathe in, breathe out, count 2, up to just 3. And then just feel the wider sensations of your body. You feel like you're contracted, holding on to something in the body. Just noticing what that feels like. And noticing how bringing your attention to that contraction, how that starts to change things. Just calming down, softening the body. And then following the breath, counting on the out breath up to 3. Feeling into your body, feeling for any sense of holding on. It might be difficult just to stay with that and see how that changes with the quality of your attention put towards it. And then just engaging back with the breath. Feeling the sensations of the breath. Maybe that quite naturally stay with the breath. That's fine. Now in this second stage, we're going to count just before the in-breath. So we'll take 3 more breaths, just counting just before the in-breath, following the whole cycle of the breath. You may naturally stay with the breath, just letting the breath soothe the body, smooth the body. Just letting go of any holding in the body. I'll bring your attention into that area where you feel it's holding. And again, just bring the count to the breath. Feeling your way into your body. Just being with any discomfort that's there. And one more time, just counting before you feeling your way through the whole cycle of the breath. Concentrating about anything that's going on, sound of the rain, how you feeling about meditating, just seeing that you're not resisting, pushing against anything that's going on. So now we're going to just drop the counting and just be with the breath, wherever we can feel it most vividly in the body. And if you start to feel something opening up, some sense of ease or energy, then you can just stay with it. No need to grab on, just staying with any sense of opening or ease. Just enough to be warm inside on a day like today. Warmth of the body. Massage of the breath. Even the weight of your eyelids. And if your mind goes off, just notice the effect on the body. Is the body tightened up as a result of mind going off into thinking? Softening the body. Feeling the breath. Just returning back into the breath. The whole body moves with the breath. And now in this final stage, we just feel the more subtle sensations of where the breath enters, and where the breath exits the body. In a way, just bringing those sensations foreground in our experience. And then feel the breath move right into the throat. Staying open and relaxed in the throat as the breath enters and exits. Just stay soft in the whole body. Resting your attention where the breath enters and exits. So now for a short period, just letting go any effort at all that you're making. And we'll just sit here, just feeling the effects of meditation. And now just coming back into contact with the ground, feeling those sensations, sense of aliveness, and contact with the ground, feeling the support of the ground. And getting also this sense of being with other people, meditating with other people, practicing with other people, the energy of that. Okay, so before we move into the tea break, it'd be nice to just hear, Elaine, have you got the people who's there?
Yes.
That's bear with us through the thick and thin?
Yes. So we've got Kat Walla from, oh, let me see, we've got lots of comments today. No, first Alison. Who else we've got here? We've got Kat Walla, we've got Joanna Shields, we've got Daisy, Alison, Sergio, who else? Yeah, that's it. There were a few comments about not hearing at the beginning, but now I think it's fine.
Yeah, thanks, Elena.
Yeah, I think
So
that's it.
yeah, thanks, Elena. In fact, nice, lovely to hear you guys are out there. Nice to just hear your names and imagine you're out there. Thanks for sticking with us. Not sure quite what happened. I'll find out. We'll find out after. But for now, what we're doing is that we're saying goodbye to the people on the live stream. Sayonara, see you next time. And we're going to have a tea break here. So we'll have a tea break and then we'll have our second half here. So for those of you at home, I hope you have a very nice evening. And